Saca Mesa. Back there. And so it runs basically kind of north-south, because the 101 is running a little bit west, right. Where we are. It's kind of a not intuitive, but it's the 101 north, but it's kind of going a little bit that way. This vineyard was planted, a lot of it was planted back in the 80s by a guy named Tony Austin, and he had a winery up here called Austin Cellars, which is the barn. And he wound up losing the property because besides making wine in the barn, he was also cooking meth. And, the local authorities frown on that here, and so they locked him up. And a couple of guys from Santa Barbara bought it, and so they've been growing Syrah for a long time. So this is old original planted Syrah from the 80s, and then they replanted that whole hillside that we passed when we were driving in. So when I first approached the owners, like in 2000, 2001, that lower section of that hillside was just kind of coming on, and they said, well, we got this old stuff, but it was kind of part and parcel, and other people have been making it for a while, and I kind of like the idea of having my own section that no one had ever made, and then being able to kind of grow into it. So from, see that little like the road comes up, and then it branches in. So from that, where that road branches in all the way down to the tip of the vineyard, where you can see that's kind of where Cunha Aliso Syrah comes from.
So from there in the back.
From there down.
Okay.
Up here is like Bob Lindquist from Coupe gets a bunch from up here. Brian Babcock, a couple other guys, and then there's a sort of somewhat imaginary line going down the hill where I get the lower section. And then we usually pick it in a few different picks, because as it starts to get less steep and it starts to level out a little at the end, the ripeness changes. Plus you have, cool air settles down a little bit. So most of the time we pick the upper section first, but sometimes the lower section has less crop. We'll wind up picking that first. It depends. I've done some experiments picking like 3 or 4 different picks earlier and earlier. I'm not trying to be like a nut, how early can we pick it, but we did do a bunch of picks, and then I had like Yves Curon and Francois Villard and a bunch of French winemakers visiting. We were in the winery, and we tasted all these different picks, and we all liked the first pick the best. So, you can pick Syrah at 22.9 and make decent wine out of it if it's the right vintage and it's phenolically ripe. You can also pick Syrah at 22.9 just because you're trying to pour your wine and be some part of some group that thinks that you have to make low alcohol wines, and you pick it and it tastes like limeade. So it just you have to do it when it's appropriate, and when it's appropriate it's appropriate. When it's not, it's not. So you can see Syrah's kind of going through variation here. This is cane pruned Syrah, so you see it's different pruning than the more somewhat traditional Bordeaux varietal like cordon pruning. Kind of old school, but the vine age and the soil and everything else can support it, and they'll come through and thin the crop out. So as it starts to pile up, if it starts to get too crowded in here, they'll thin it out. And they've already obviously pulled a lot of leaves. You can see to open up the canopy, so let some airflow and sunshine get to the grapes.
So they haven't done any fruit drop yet.
Not any fruit drop yet. And I mean, you can see we don't have to walk down the hill, but if you take a quick walk. I mean, look at these clusters and look at these vines, and if you come over here. Sandy, shaly, calcareous sort of rock, and much lighter, sandier soil than we saw like in Happy Canyon. So super, super well draining, and hence you can see the vine age is pretty significant if you look at the trunk diameter, but you can see that the vigor is just controlled by the available water and nutrient here, and smaller cluster sizes, not as many clusters.
Is this also Syrah or is this the
This is all Syrah. Yeah, so you can now, if you come over here, you can kind of visualize what I'm talking about as it goes down. So that little tiny, like where it gets real narrow and then it opens up again.
Yeah.
That bottom part is mine, and then the flat part coming up towards us is mine, and then the steep part on this hill right here is hitching post and coupe. That's Kendall Jackson over yonder. Be like the main cordons, and then they'll do vertical shoots up off that they chuck, and they select when they prune at the end of the year. They'll select the shoots that are kind of evenly spaced and pointing vaguely in the right direction, and then just eliminate all the other ones and just leave, 2 bud spurs on those shoots that they think are appropriate.
Ryan's doing that as well. He was showing us that.
Yeah, Encantata.
This is a much more controlled, easier to get crop consistency and airflow. You do leaf pulling, you do thinning. It's just easier for the crew to work. It's easier to look at. It's easier to pick, and a little easier to manage in general. They've done some studies in like some of the cane pruning stuff where you've got 3 canes or 4 canes, and you've got a low wire and a high wire on both sides.
Yeah.
The grapes on the high wire and the low wire can be quite different. I mean, gravity.
Yeah.
So you don't think about it, but even the same vine, from near the head to near the end of the cane, low cane, high cane, so you have a lot of inconsistency.
And those
can sometimes be interesting, but sometimes be.
Do you do multiple harvests?
It just, it's coincidence and it's not, but just I've gravitated towards these vineyards where the Grenache is in that soil. So you can see this is a pretty late ripening varietal. There's very little abrasion happening. This will get picked much, much later in the season, but it can hang out for quite some time. The only danger is it gets bleached by the sun if it stays out too long, and it can start to get light. But I'm not really like a color whore, so I'd rather have it taste good, and so I don't really care that much if it's a little light. Put like 15 clusters. I mean, they're like huge,
Wow.
They're really big.
When would you green thin?